welcome back to the MTG Rundown. I'm Andrew.
I'm deeply unsettling.
I'm Nick.
And so you're probably wondering, hey, we haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks. Where have you been? Fun enough.
Drunk, mostly.
Yeah, drunk mostly. For sure drunk. We totally did make videos. The first video I thought was 100% gold.
It was pretty funny.
It was great. It was a good one. You guys would have been entertained, but, you know, it didn't make the cut, unfortunately, from the upstairs. So that
The damn man.
Yeah.
Always coming down on our videos.
Yeah. So that
Attica, man. Attica.
And then we did another video, and then you ever have one of those moments where everything just goes wrong?
Yes,
Everything
it was
went
that
wrong.
video.
It was that video.
Yeah.
It was literally that video. But we're back. Everything seems to be working, I hope. But we'll find out. So if you don't see this video, yeah. But in today's news, we're going to talk about delay for Phyrexia All is One. Got pushed a week.
Listen, perfection takes time, everyone. Perfection takes time.
What's your excuse?
I'm the youngest person in this room.
I know.
by a lot.
What's your
right.
excuse?
What's your excuse?
I don't have one because I'm never striving for perfection. Anyways.
Amateur.
Realistic. Another thing we'll cover is obviously Dominaria Remastered, a.k.a. I can't believe it's not Commander Masters. Tell me I'm wrong.
It really is. It really is.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Sure.
And yeah, that's basically what we got today, honestly. I mean, I don't know if there's anything. Well, you said you had some Twitter feed
Yeah,
stuff
there's
going
more
on.
Twitter beef going on because Magic players and the internet are just a perfect combination.
Oh yeah, cliff notes of last week. Don't cast op when your opponent has a Shieldred in play.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We missed that whole discussion.
I know. We didn't have that whole discussion. Anyway, non-May triggers working as they do is fine and good, and yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
To boil down an hour of nuanced conversation.
Yeah. We just won't dive too much deeper because I did get a counter argument to that from Casey, but I'll tell you guys that off camera.
Sure.
But anyways, though, we had a whole discussion. It was great. So I guess we'll dive right in. So Phyrexia All is One got delayed a week, so it's getting pushed. I think it's gonna be February 10th now. It's gonna be the release date.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is going to again be right before Valentine's Day, where I have zero money that is mine.
Not with that attitude.
Can't help it. I like my wife.
Somebody has to.
It's true. Might as well be me.
Hi, Hunter. How's it going?
She doesn't watch this.
Good.
She doesn't watch anything. She doesn't watch or listen to anything I do.
Until you're like, oh, hey, you should say this. Hey, no, Andrew was talking some mad shit.
Yeah.
But that's not surprising. I mean, sure, whatever, they delay stuff all the time.
Yeah,
but
it happens.
Yeah. I mean, 1 week delay is not terrible.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We've seen worse.
Seriously, I'm assuming they're probably going to do the you can sell everything pre-release again to where it's like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it was delayed.
Oh, no. But
Terrible.
yeah, no. Terrible. That's horrific. Anyways, but yeah, no, that is that's that. That's about all the news we got on that one.
Yep.
So that's good. That's cool. But now what's with this
That's
Twitter
good.
beef?
That's cool. That's neat.
A rather well-known player in the Legacy community basically just tweeted out a lot of frustration. He was like, I wish that Wizards would take into consideration what printing cards in like external formats will do to Legacy and things like that. Like specifically, he's getting tired of a lot of Commander cards just getting really good in Legacy because they're either designed for multiplayer, so on a one-on-one, it's just infinitely better.
Because Monarch wasn't play tested for one-on-one.
Yeah, Monarch Initiative, just all these things. A bunch of Commander players took that as a personal insult as Legacy players trying to attack Commander specifically. To a lot of people were like, no, we don't, like, Commander's fine. We don't care about Commander. Enjoy the game as you want. We're just tired of, like, Modern Horizons 2, Commander, all these sets warping our format horrifically because if they are playtesting, they're only playtesting for the specific mode. So, like, they'll playtest for Commander or Modern Horizons playtest for Modern, so on, without even thinking what that does to other eternal formats.
I mean, even then,
Yeah.
Modern Horizons 1 was not play tested for
Yeah.
Modern.
No, yeah. No, it was not.
And, yeah, it just turned into like a 3-day like back and forth where Commander players kept getting like exponentially angrier about how dare Legacy attack us. Don't they know we're the best format? It's like, we don't care about your format. We care that all the cards that are currently being like intentionally built for you are screwing us up.
Yeah.
You can have your cards. We just want Wizards to say like Commander is no longer Legacy legal, or like, hey, we're going to only allow like standard expansion sets for like the main line. None of this Commander Legends, no Commander decks, nothing like that.
They really need to draw a line. They need to draw a line somewhere. At
They
this
need to
point.
do a lot of things for poor Legacy.
Well, I
which, by
mean-
the way, is the best format.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah.
it just is.
It's definitely a fun format for sure. I mean, they did. I mean, I don't have the details of all the call. I want to talk about this next week or not next week, but or whenever we're back or whatever.
Yeah.
Once I have the actual transcript of the call, Hasbro just had a call today where they literally admitted that they are overproducing Magic the Gathering.
Sure.
They're overprinting it, and this is just another one of those like, more evidence to basically support that, because we now have you're allowing all these like Commander-esque cards that are just infinitely good 1v1. There have been times I've played 1v1 Commander against like Silver or something, and you just get that they were like, okay, I'm just going to slam this one card down that it's good for multiplayer, but can be taken care of. But if you're 1v1, it's like, oh wow, you literally have to have the key card to stop it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just that simple. You don't have two other players around you doing that. And I can definitely, like, Magic players, Magic community, looking at you right now. Actually, I'm going to look at you right here. Stop fighting amongst each other. We need to come together to tell Wizards of the Coast to stop being twats. Thank you.
Which,
Collective bargaining.
Yeah.
I was like, on a somewhat similar note, unfortunately, I'm now blanking on the name of it, but the person who made the post I believe he was an ecological scientist. But he was talking about a phenomenon you see in nature with rising temperatures, things like that. But he's like, they can also very well relate to a lot of businesses where essentially what happens is just slowly over time, like he's talking about like the kind of river glaciers will raise and the water levels change. Water levels changes a little bit by little bit, and you have to pay attention to those little small changes because eventually you'll hit a point of no return that you can't get back from. And he's saying that also applies to a lot of businesses where he's seeing with Wizards right now, where they keep doing small price hikes or they keep printing just slightly more each time, or they're just doing a little bit by little bit by little, and more players are getting out of the game. And eventually it will hit a point of no return where they've had just enough players who said, I'm not going to buy this anymore, or I'm cashing out, or I'm leaving, to where they're going to go, oh no, we've hit, the point of no return. How do we get these players back now? And he was saying, there is no way. Once you've just lost that little bit by little bit by little bit after, your small price hike, after your next, expansion set that was just a little too pushed, after your next, bad Twitter post because Magic isn't for everyone or whatever, Wizards will eventually hit a point of no return where they're going to be suddenly panicking trying to get all of these, that hundreds of thousands of players back to their game. And they've all they was like, no, I'm done. And then people were commenting like, yeah, I left when they started doing secret layers. I left when they started doing commander decks for every set. I left when Magic 30th came out. And just little bit by little, you could literally, going through all these comments, see just those points where they were slowly losing more and more of the community support.
I'm going to be real. I've been seriously thinking about just selling out of Modern just because, like, I'm never going to have the chance to play it again just because, like, the way the community around here is and, like, time. Like, no one wants to play Magic the way I want to play Magic anymore, and that's like $3,000 in cards just sitting on in my basement. Yeah. Like I would rather have a guitar, right?
No, I don't
like I would rather just like pay rent and like not have to worry about bills for a little bit,
Speaking of things missed from last week's episode, we are having a GoFundMe for getting Happy New guitar.
Yes, please. Yes. Daddy needs a Schecter Ultra Cure 6. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it and then faint at the price tag. It's hot though. It's hot.
I mean, it's just, I feel like we're getting to that point again where Wizards of the Coast is going to have to come out and restructure formats. I think we're getting to that point again because we're starting to like. I honestly agree with that scientists like demonstration of what's going on right now, and I will say that it is hard to gauge with some of the comments. I mean, anyone can just say, "Oh yeah, I sold out at this point," but it's like, okay, well, do you still play Magic a little bit? Oh yeah, I still play Commander. I still get stuff. I'm like, well, you're still getting stuff still. But if you're talking about specific format, I mean, I think that's the biggest issue right now when it comes to constructed play with specific formats. Like with Standard, the cost of Standard is a lot of money right now. It is a lot of money. For you to have a tier 1 deck, and this is like if you're going in, it's a lot of money. Because I had a discussion, it was actually with Mark when we were talking about like what's going on with Standard. And, you know, I was telling him that the cost of Standard's too much right now. It's expensive. If you need to have 4 Shouldreds, you need to have 4 Fables, 4 Wedding Announcements. You need Wandering Emperors. You need all these big key cards. All right there alone for Shouldred, Fable, Wandering Emperor, Wedding Announcement. Those 4, you're looking at $700 to $800 right now.
Yeah. It is a weird time when the land base isn't the most expensive thing.
Right. The land base is actually manageable right now.
Yeah, it is actually very, very weird that the bulk of your deck cost is actually like not your land base.
Exactly.
Right now.
And it's extremely stressful right now for like especially for people trying to return into that. And you know, we were talking about how the pandemic had affected that, and you know, people like basically his response was like, well, you know, people were always buying that new set, and it wasn't that much big of a cost because they're just getting the new stuff that they want, and they're getting the new cards from there. But when the pandemic happened, they stopped doing that because there was no in-person play. It was all through Arena, which Arena has its own issues. That's a whole nother thing.
Right. So now everybody's starting from scratch again instead of just buying what they need from the new sets as they go.
Exactly. And so now they have to get back to that point. But we're at a point now where now everyone's used to how it was during the pandemic, and now that we're basically out of it.
We have decided that we are out. We are acting as if it is no longer happening.
Right. We have decided we are out of the pandemic.
Yes.
And it is tough for players because there are people who enjoy the online format and just say, no, just play Arena. I can do tournaments in Arena. I can do all this stuff on Arena.
Yeah, a guy, I mean, I don't know him super well, but he's like well known within the group of guys that I play with predominantly. He just won $2,000 in the draft tournament on Arena.
Yeah.
Like in his boxers, you know, like who like it's just it's difficult to sell people on you know, spending $500 on a Standard deck.
And Wizards of the Coast has already come out saying they want to focus more on digital merchandise right now.
Yep.
Because I mean, right now they've been really pushing a lot of D&D. They've been pushing a lot of MTG, and nice. And they want to focus more on the digital frame because they made a lot of money during the pandemic, and I think they believe they can still sustain that now that we're out of a pandemic, which they might be able to. But there's still a good amount of the community that want to play in person.
Yep. Which I was say, did you see Aaron Forsyth's tweets on that?
No, I didn't see that.
I want to say it was like 3 or 4 weeks. So he actually was on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm seeing this in my local area as well as just hearing about it from friends and other stores that Standard is on a noticeable downturn." And just asked, "What are people's opinions on why Standard's doing poorly?" And a lot of what you're saying was responses, oh, the cost of entry is too high. My collection rotated out because of the pandemic. One person brought up that, like, in the past when Wizards was spearheading all the competitive play, they would also require all of the feeder events to, like, the Pro Tours to be the same format. So if it was a standard Pro Tour, it had to be standard, like PVGQs. Now it's up to the individual groups that run it to decide what they want. And most of them just say, individual stores pick.
Right.
We're going to make this a Pioneer event, but you can run it as whatever format you want.
Right.
Right. So, like the big tournament, like the World Tournament, the one run by Wizards is going to be whatever format they say. However, all of the ones leading up to it, you have to play Standard and Modern and Pioneer and even sometimes Limited and Legacy. You have to play all of those to get a shot at the Pioneer, like $100,000 or whatever the pot was, like World Championship, and that's just it's spread too thin.
It's bad. It's not a good thing because we need. Honestly, this is where, again, I think Wizards of the Coast needs to relook at their formats. They need to go, okay, we need to be able to say, we are going to focus on this format on being what is going to be playing to win. This is the format you're going to play that's going to be the majority of the bigger tournaments. And they need to really push that. And the problem comes to, and this is going to go after all formats here, where I'm going to go with this. Every format in Magic is hurting the other format in Magic.
Okay, I'm gonna let you explain because I just knee-jerk started speaking.
Sure. So the perfect example is what we were just talking about with Commander and Legacy. The Commander cards being bonko way too good for Legacy. That's just making it way too, basically making the Legacy community a little too upset. It's making a bit more of a rougher format to play in because you're having all these really good Commander cards that are getting put into this Eternal format that honestly have no right being there. You then have, so then I'll go to another one where you have like Standard and Pioneer. Let's use these two. So Standard and Pioneer. Standard right now is there are 4 top tier decks that literally you need. Sheoldred, Fable, Lily of the Veil can be put in there too. Why not? Wandering Emperor, Wedding Announcement. Cool. All of these affect Pioneer because not only are these all Pioneer legal, but it's also going to up the cost because you also need them for your Pioneer deck too. So now you need the same cards for 2 different decks in 2 different formats. Now, if we go into Modern with all these same cards, now, in theory, this sort of helps Modern because Brothers War helped Modern. Brothers War helped Modern because of making Mishra's Baubles cheaper.
Yep.
It made it easier to get Wormcoil engines.
Yep.
It made it easier to get those staples that you needed.
And introduced really like cool new cards like Diabolic Intent.
Yes.
Diabolic Intent, like guys, that card is going hard in Modern right now.
And it's
God bless Yogg Daddy.
So, but the thing is, it's each format. Whenever you're bringing out new cards, each format is either hurting or helping each other format that's in there right now. Commander, while I love Commander, Commander is probably the biggest troublemaker. I would say.
Yes.
I would definitely say Commander is the biggest troublemaker because Commander was supposed to be a community casual event, something that people did for fun. It was never supposed to be something that was going to be like, oh my God, we have to make this competitive. We have to make this hardcore like it was supposed to be with things like Modern or Standard or Pioneer. Those were going to be the formats that were like, oh yeah, no, let's do major big things here. Commander players who play it religiously, and that's the only format they play, they're crying out to have more of a competitive nature and to be like, oh, well, why can't this tournament be a Commander tournament where we win $100,000? Because, first of all, that's a nightmare to try to set up. Also, B, that was never the point of Commander. That was never the point when Commander was created. That was never the point. That's...
Yeah, I mean...
I agree with the overall statements. I disagree a lot with these specifics.
Okay.
I think talking about the spirit of the game, like with Commander, I think is pointless a little bit. I think it's nice. I think it makes everybody feel good. But I think ultimately it's just not the way people think about the game anymore. Or the format. So I think it is a little bit useless. I also think that people who want to, so yes, that there are a group of people who want, like, why couldn't this $100,000 tournament be a Commander tournament? Yes, there are people who think that way, but it's not the majority. I don't think it's the majority of Commander players. I don't even think it's the majority of competitive Commander players.
Sure.
I also think competitive Commander gets a bad rap, but that's, I think, a different discussion.
Sure.
But I do agree that Commander being the biggest format, the one that is being pushed the most, the one that everybody's playing, is indeed bad for Magic the Gathering because it's not it isn't it's just not designed to be all of those different types of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
It is more of a board game than Magic the Gathering, is what I'm saying, and I mean that sincerely. Like that's not like a joke or a ha. I think it is more like playing Settlers of Catan than it is like playing Magic the Gathering. Sorry, I interrupted you, Nick.
Oh no, I was saying like going how you're also pointing out that just like the cost of decks is getting increasingly ridiculous. Someone again in the Iron Foresight thread was pointing out that like one of their kind of tinfoil hats as to why the cards are getting so bad is that there's now 3 different kinds of pack. In the past, it was, if you want to get cards, if you want to get anything, you have to open your draft boosters. Anything you don't want gets put onto the secondary market, and there's a constant supply of cards. With set boosters, collector set, like for the new Kamigawa set, everyone was going crazy hard on the collector boosters trying to get the Neon Ink cards.
Yeah.
Which meant there was a much smaller volume of like set and draft boosters being open, which meant overall fewer cards in the secondary market. And just kind of creates this unfortunate loop where people keep going after either set boosters because I don't want the chaff, I just want to get the foils or the alt arts or whatever, which slowly increases the cost of just about everything else because there's less cards now being opened in general.
Yeah.
But also, I think we had this kind of brief conversation earlier in the week that also like in the past, Baby Jace was like this big, oh my god, this card's the most expensive since Jace the Mind Sculptor, and now every set has 1 or 2 Baby Jaces where, oh man, Shouldered $70. Oh man, Meat Hook Masker's $80. Oh, I really need Besage, but it's $30 right now. Wandering Emperor's $30. Like all these cards are just getting like every single set now has these $50 plus mythics or what?
Yeah.
Ledger Shredder, what's $30-$35 for a rare right now?
Yeah.
Like, how do you try to talk a person who wants to get into Magic to playing Standard and going, oh, by the way, you need 4 of this, you need 4 of this, you need 4 of this, you need 4 of this. So that's $500-$700. But don't worry, your mana base is only 200 right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not even that anymore.
Yeah.
Because the Pain Lands helped with that. Because the Pain Lands have been reprinted so much in Commander decks and stuff like that, it's made it easier to get those.
I mean, one of the most basic, like, honestly, if Wizards is starting to do, the Commander Star decks again, which is a good start, they also need at this point just to start making, like, every 3 to 6 months, Pioneer starter decks, Standard starters, just take every single deck that's doing well, water it down, print it.
Yep.
Just give people an accessible point into the game where they're not having to look at buying all these $30 to $50 cards. Because it's also just a barrier of entry. I've had players when I'm working like Friday night and they come in and say, yeah, I really want to get into Actually, it was a whole family came in and said, we really want to get into playing competitive Magic. We're looking at Standard. We have a lot of Standard cards, but we're missing a lot of stuff. What's it going to look like? I'm like, well, what are you playing? He goes, I have 1 Ledger Shredder. I want 3. I'm like, well, that's $70 there. Well, how much is Wandering Emperor? She's $35 right now.
Yep.
How much is this? I'm like, it's this. They go, do you still have the starter decks? No, they discontinued those years and years and years ago because they wanted to do Commander decks because they want to focus on Commander. Well, how am I supposed to get into Standard now? You either buy packs and get lucky, or you start shelling out for these big ticket singles. Yeah, it's a money issue. It's an accessibility. I want Standard to do well. It is a fun, small field of competitive cards.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I want Pioneer to do well. I want Modern to do well. Obviously, I'm always chill for Legacy, but it's like when it used to be, you can't play Legacy because the cost is too much. It was kind of like, yeah, I understand. Now it's, you can't play Standard because the cost is too much, and you also can't play Pioneer because the cost is too much, and you can't play like, what was it? I think the Standard deck I thought about putting together recently was $800 on TCG Mid. The Modern deck I was looking at was $1,100.
Yeah.
Like at that point, again, it's like, why not just play Modern right? Don't have to worry about these $800 of singles
that are going to be bad in a year. Yeah. That are just not going to be playable in a year. Yeah. Yep.
Or like, hey, this Pioneer deck I want is $750.
Like, I kind of feel like, again, it just comes back to where, they need to restructure these formats better. They need to be able to go, okay, how can we make this better to let, like, these cards last longer? One thing that has always stuck to my mind that I felt like could possibly help, obviously we need to be tested, which we're asking Wizards of the Coast a lot to do some testing. But one thing that I think would help Standard right now, at least Standard right now, and I choose Standard because I love Standard. Standard's my format. I enjoy playing it. I'm always going to have a bias. And that's okay. I think everyone can have a bias. Like, Happy, you enjoy Modern.
It's true.
You enjoy Legacy. Then, and when Elijah was here, he enjoyed Commander. We each had our favorite format. And that's okay. You can have your favorite format. Anything we're saying, we're not dogging on your format. You can play whatever format you want. But
unless it's vintage.
Unless it's vintage, fuck you.
Then no. I mean, you can just play You can just put stacks of money on a table. It's okay. You can just do it.
Y'all haven't heard of that 94, 95 old school.
Okay, literally someone today came in and he asked to see our expensive binder.
Yep.
Right, and he was like looking through. He was like, "Man, I like all these cards, but I don't like the prices." And then like I think he pointed at like a black I think he pointed at one of like the old bolts we have and was like, "That's a $5 card all day." No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. But he was like, I only play a 94, 95 where I'm from. So, oh yeah, so you got any cards for that? And we're like, I mean, I guess, like, you fucking animal.
Oh God, I hate people.
What's wrong with you? Are you playing for Ante too? You, God. Yeah, go on.
It is a great format where cards like Woolly Mammoth are actually powerful.
Yeah.
Ignore the fact that you're playing with like full sets of all the power.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't. Ugh. That's so much money. I've been stressing, right? Because I'm like, you know what? I think I already have Grixis Sacrifice for standard. I'm like, I think I'm gonna make it more mid range. I think it runs better. And I've been stressing because I'm like, man, I need like 2 more Shouldreds. I need 2 more. Luckily, Colin's let me borrow 2. So I'm like,
Colin's a good guy.
Colin's such a good guy. Colin, if you're watching this, love you, man.
He was on the show a while back. I don't know.
We'll eventually kidnap him again.
Yeah.
We will someday. But no, it was that's a nice thing. But going back to kind of what I was saying, like I think one thing that can help standard, and this again would require testing, and I know it's going to get some weird flack, a rotating ban list. And I say a rotating ban list, or maybe like a restricted list, I guess we could call it. Is when I know you're already going, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm waiting. Okay.
I'm waiting very patiently. I'm
So-
waiting very patiently.
So here's in my head how it could work. So right now, let's use, for example, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Literally is probably arguably one of the best cards. Is probably the best card in standard. Shouldred's very up there too, but Fable is the card you're going to see in the majority of the decks that has red somehow in there because it's that good. That card is one of those things you have it played out, you play it out, you go from there. Then you go, all right, new set has come out that's still in standard. Let's take some of these cards that are in the majority of all these decks and let's put them in a restricted. Let's put a stamp on them for now. Going, okay. Brother, now let's say Phyrexia's 1 is out now. So let's go ahead and take Fable the Mirror Breaker or whatever else. We put it on the restricted list. So until the next set comes out, you're not playing that card. That would create decks to be like, okay, now we need to be a little bit more creative. How can we use these decks, still use these decks without Fable? And it makes it a bit more, not only does it bring down the price because you're getting rid of, so a play set of Fables are probably like, what, 100 to get a play set? Maybe, roughly.
I'm going to say for time. I'm going to say roughly.
Yeah, we'll say roughly. Let's say we'll just. I could.
I'll
be
just
wrong.
say for the sake of argument.
For the sake of argument, we'll say yeah.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker, $100 for a playset.
Sure. So $100 for a playset of Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Right there, saving people $100 for at least until the next set comes out. So now the next set comes out. Now they can review it. Okay, how was the meta without Fable? What decks did well? What decks didn't do so well? What died off? What didn't die off? Did we create more of a wide berth of different types of decks, more variety? If we did, then maybe we go back and say, okay, Fable's in, now we're going to take this other card out. Or maybe we say, okay, we're going to keep Fable out and maybe take out this other one just to see if it creates more variety into it. And just kind of go from there. Again, this is not something that I have 100% got down packed, but this is something that could potentially help. Go ahead and tell me how I'm wrong, Happy.
Do you remember when they announced Pioneer?
Yes.
And they said it was no ban list except for the fetches, but every week we're gonna release a ban list. And it was and people literally did not play Pioneer because it was fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
I think that is what is going to happen with this. I think it is a great idea in theory, but having seen something very similar happen to a format, I don't think people would be into it.
The issue was they did it every week. You can't do it every week. That's ridiculous.
Sure.
You have to do it. at least you have to hit a milestone. A milestone is either maybe you do it once every 6 months or once when a new set comes out.
Sure.
Because the sets they're spread out far enough to where you can do that. And
They were.
yeah. And I mean now Pioneer, there's really not.
No, I think no. I mean, Pioneer is fine, but I mean for Standard, I think that would be confusing and exhausting.
Sure.
Yep.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I do not think there is a way to implement it so it would be easily followed and understood.
Sure.
This also creates the issue of like Standard was kind of meant to be like the intro to competitive Magic. So if you have a newer player coming, you have to go, oh no, sorry, this card is banned for this month, or oh no, sorry, that deck you just bought a week ago, they banned these 2 cards out of it. Now you have to switch them again. Now you have to switch them again.
Yeah, that definitely. Again, there's a lot of flaws, but also this also brings up another thing that reminds me. Another thing, how Arena screws over Standard right now. How I was saying how formats are doing that.
Yeah.
So right now in Arena, you can go on there. I believe they're still doing this. Don't quote me on this. I might be wrong. It's Thursday, the 8th of December that I'm saying this.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
Yes.
But right now you can go on the store, buy 4 rare wild cards for $10. You can do it 10 times. So $40. So you can get 40 rares for $40.
No.
Those rares can be anything you
No.
want.
For 40 rares for $100.
Sorry, 40 rares for $100. Sorry, my math was wrong.
You're okay.
It's been a long day.
It's okay.
But so 40 rares for $100. That is substantially cheaper than getting 4 Fables in actual real cardboard.
Yes.
Yep.
My question for you is, shouldn't it be?
Oh, no, it should be.
Okay.
But I'm saying that...
Sure, in the sense that it is hurting hurting paper Magic. Yes.
Exactly. It's
yes.
hurting paper Magic. It's hurting people from actually coming to events and doing stuff. So they go, wait a minute. Why would I spend $100 for 4 cards when I can get 40 wild cards to make them whatever the fuck I want for $100?
Sure.
It becomes cheaper.
I'll say, Wizards had a fix for that, which they unfortunately don't really talk about.
Go on.
Good old-fashioned Moto set redemptions. Get a full set, get it redeemed into paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost like it's something Moto is doing better than Arena. Oh my god, I've never heard of that one before.
Which,
How is Moto still a raging dumpster fire and yet has enough better than Arena that it's like, it's not a clear winner?
Yeah, I was going to say just real fast for the youngins out there, that's Magic the Gathering Online, Moto is its original name. I'm just that fucking old that I still remember Moto. The client is terrible.
It's god awful.
Horrifically optimized.
God
buggy as
awful.
hell, and it's the only place you can play the fucking December Holiday Cube.
Yes, it is abysmal to play, and I love that stupid applicant. It's
The amount
so
of
bad.
times I've been like, all they have to do is move over like a legacy support and give me like once a year holiday vintage cube, and I am going to throw all my money into Arena because yeah. Speaking of which, Wizards, where's the holiday cube? I need it.
I'm waiting for Wizards to come out.
like to see the holiday cube.
Yo,
Yeah.
That's my Werner Herzog, everybody.
Yes.
That's my Werner Herzog. Thank you.
But like again, it's honestly that's another way Wizards can fix their shit is being like, hey, you know what? You get the playset here, you can get the playset out there.
or just again, everyone said it a million times over. Borrow from Pokemon Company, where they just put a code in the back of every pack that
It's so ungodly easy. It's
Don't make
so
money.
ungodly easy. Pokemon Live is eating your fucking lunch, Magic.
In front of you.
Yep.
In front of you.
it's Wizards. I know they're not going to be like, oh sure, we'll give you a code for a full. Like, make it a code that gives you 5 commons and uncommon and every so often a rare or something like that. Just like a small something to push paper sales. Because, oh wow, if I buy a booster box, I get 36 digital packs now. Everyone will
But
happily do that.
At this point now, though, that I feel like what Wizards is doing, going, well, if online's doing better, then fuck people who are wanting to do paper.
Which also, like you said, Happy, the guy in your play group who just recently won a bunch of money. It's the same reason we saw drafts die out here is when we would talk to like big draft players. They said, yeah, I used to drive 25-30 minutes out to draft, but now I can just wake up, make myself a cup of coffee, draft for 5 or 6 hours in my underwear on my couch, go back to bed on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's like just infinitely more convenient. Oh, and I also don't have to worry about, running into the weird guy at the store or, oh, I'm not really fond of so-and-so. I'll just play online now.
Yep.
Yep. That's literally what it is now. So, Wizards, if you want to fix all your problems, give more.
Mhm.
Give more, and you're going to get more. Plain and simple. That's
All right.
how it works.
So I think we've been on this for...
Yeah,
We have been
I
on
think
this.
we
We've been on this
probably-
for I think 20 minutes.
Yeah,
we should
yeah,
probably,
yeah.
pivot
So,
to-
about,
yeah.
so
we go.
Dominaria Remastered, or I can't believe it's not Commander
Play Flesh and Blood
Masters.
instead.
Yeah, we're gonna play that this week.
We are actually gonna, we are gonna jump into some Flesh and Blood. We'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I guess.
Mhm.
But so yeah, Dominaria Remastered spoilers have come out, and oh my god, these are good. These are good.
Y'all like tutors?
You like
God.
tutors?
I like tutors.
They have reprinted Worldly, Enlightened, Vampiric. Let's see,
Mystical.
All of them Mirage and what is it?
Visions.
Yeah,
Visions.
Tutors, yeah.
All of them have been reprinted, and yeah, it's great. It's wonderful.
Really cool. Very glad. You love to see it. You truly love to
But
see
Wizards
it.
of the Coast does nothing with the secondary market.
Yes. No. Wizards of the Coast doesn't look at the secondary market. Don't look at the reserve list. Don't look at the reserve list. Don't look at the reserve list.
Don't look at the reserve list. So yeah, there is that. The tutors, like, we could stop. We can talk about the tutors and gush all over them.
But I think we do that literally every time they say the word vampiric tutor, so you guys know that they're good and that we like them.
Have you watched the price of Vampiric Tutor recently? Because it's just cratering, and it needs to be like.
Thank you. Yes, it does. It does. Agreed.
It's great.
Hey, you know what else they're reprinting? In an old border that is now that will finally, maybe, hopefully, actually be, gettable.
Oh yeah, Urza, Lord High Artificer.
It's
yeah,
Urza!
it's really good.
Yeah! No, fuck that guy. It's Young Daddy, baby. It's Young Daddy. He's got a cool ass full art too. It's gonna be on the screen. Matt, I'm telling you now that we are doing spoilers. Yeah, it looks really cool. He looks very villainous and creepy, and I love him. All right.
Yeah, it's great. And then we also have in the cool art, the Urza Lord High Artificer. Just because I wanted to mess with you.
Just
Urza, Lord High, the fucking problem.
No Mercy finally getting fucking reprinted.
Yes,
from the first
yes,
saga.
yes.
how
Oh
about-
my god.
we'll go back this way around here. Gamble.
Yeah, Gamble with the not
Gamble.
shitty art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gamble.
Mystic Remora for the first time since Ice Age. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Last Chance.
Yeah, last chance.
Last chance coming back. I love it.
I don't remember the Hunting Ground got fucking stupid again. That bitch is finally dropping it.
Yes. Thank God, Hunting Ground.
I'm just-
Exploration. Haven't seen that one since Double Masters 1.
Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning is good.
Dark
Yeah.
Depths was what Ultimate Masters.
Dark
last time, I
Depths was
think?
Ultimate Masters. Entomb, also Ultimate
yeah.
Masters. Motherfucking Entomb, baby.
Here's one. High Tide.
Yeah. High Tide.
Dude.
High Tide.
Yes.
See, I'm okay with them not getting reprinted because I'm really tired of fucking playing against that deck. I tap, I untap, I tap, I untap. Like, I know what you're doing.
I
Let me
know.
I'm dead or not.
Okay. We get it.
I'm just gonna IRL F6. Let me know when I die.
Yeah.
You're gonna cast Time Spiral 4 times in a row, and I'm gonna get Blue Sun for my entire library.
Birds of Paradise
Oh,
in
yes.
the old border with the Mark Poole art for not $1,000 a pack.
Time Stretch. Time Stretch getting reprinted. I love it. I love it.
I believe Arborea has only ever been printed in Legends originally.
Yep.
Fuck, I forget. It's a world enchantment. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
neighbor. Yeah, it's back.
oh boy.
World Enchantment is kind of back.
I mean, this back average have the print Concordant Crossroads.
I just can't wait for the judge. What's a world enchantment?
Oh, God.
I'm like, I get to explain this again.
And then you have Oversold Cemetery. I like that card. And if you don't know what that does, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
So we got
Money.
two cards that were way too overpriced simply because they were commander cards. Both Test of Endurance and Urza's Incubator.
Yes.
Fine cards. No reason for their price tag.
Chainer's Edict.
Yes.
Got
Oh,
the Torment copy's like almost $10 again. I love it.
Yeah.
just
so
so
stupid.
another one to throw in there. Sylvan Library.
I guess a Sylvan Library reprint is always a good. I'm always happy when I see that slot taken up because you know what? That card should be less.
Figured you
give
wanna
it the,
talk
just
about
give it
that
the
one.
fucking Goyf treatment.
We already talked about the Force of Will.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were talking about the Force of Will when they announced the set.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right.
yeah, Force
No,
of
you're
Will.
right.
Force of Will back in packs.
How about creepy ass Jester's Cap? Did you? See
They're
the
all
new-
creepy,
They're
yeah.
all creepy, but
I mean,
no.
is there a new art? Oh, we also talked about that when they announced the set. It was one of the cards
okay, I
that
couldn't
they came out
remember.
when they
Giving me
announced
some
the set.
Kafka vibes.
You said that last time too.
I did.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good, cool. Thank you for reminding
You're
me.
nothing if not consistent.
I just have a shit memory.
Honestly, I think this set is going to be great,
And they were printing Sneak Attack.
which is very good. I love
Yeah,
Sneak
I
Attack.
like the art for it. It's kind of cute.
I see.
Savine's Wreck. Didn't know
Yeah.
Savine was from Dominaria, but I guess I do now.
Check lanes are coming back.
Someone I'm friends on the Discord went, "Why are they reprinting Dogmyth? I didn't know he was part of Dom." I'm like, "Yeah, he's a little infamous on Dominaria." Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just linked Urborg. And like, oh right, it's that guy.
Yes.
Oh, that dick.
It's that guy. The Legacy Weapon art. Legacy Weapon is terrible. That art is really,
It's
really
good.
cool.
Good old yet another counterspell reprint. Thank God.
Yeah.
Overmaster.
Overmaster is super important
Yes.
for you filthy Charbelcher players.
Even
I
just
like
like something
Charbelcher.
like like Mesmeric Fiend, just nice to see.
Yeah.
It's not expensive. It's not like stable. Just nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Just
We also
nifty.
got Dark Depths.
Dark
And
Depths,
They even gave it. They gave it the old school treatment and a new art.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
I do like the new art a lot.
I like the new art a lot. too.
What was it?
Crypt Helm and Stamping Sphere. Not terrible.
yeah, no, not terrible at all. Savannah
Or, sorry,
Lion's coming back.
Tormod's Crypt. Not
Yeah.
Oh right, fucking Crawl Space, which hasn't been printed since Commander 2013.
Yeah.
Cards that are way too goddamn expensive because of that format.
No, Commander's fine, guys.
Yeah, I think all of these cards are really good. I'm really happy to
really
see
good.
all of them. I really like the Dominaria, not the plain, the set from 2019, 2018 Dominaria Sarah Angel art. I always thought that was really cool.
Gauntlet
I'm a
of
sucker
Power.
for Angel art. A Gauntlet of Power.
I like that. I actually like that art. It's not bad. It's not awful to me. I don't know. I'm weird though.
It looks like a pre-rendered cutscene from the PS1.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Also, a little notable they're doing a bunch of the Legends uncommons, specifically the one I'm talking about, Zira Arian. You know, Bug Lady.
Yeah.
She's back, and now she's an insect wizard.
How about Hunting Grounds?
Yes. I said that one already.
Yes.
Oh, you did? I hear
Yes.
you.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that one. My bad.
Gush less, bro.
I can't though.
I'd forgot that she's just Jund and Tapper to draw a card.
Have we
Yeah.
mentioned?
Weirdest.
Okay, have we mentioned World Gorger Dragon?
We have not, but
I like World Gorger Dragon.
World Gorger
It
Dragon
is a
is
fantastic card. Thank you.
Yeah.
okay.
Especially when you have Animate Dead in play.
Well,
You know what's
Okay.
really fun?
And then you play Nephalia Drowner and you kill
Okay.
your opponent really quickly.
you know what I
Okay.
like to do? I used to have a
Anji Falconwreath.
no Theros Beyond Death. Oh god damn it, Perforos. That version of Perforos, the sneak attack Perforos, I made it a commander.
Interesting.
So this is what I did. I would go. I'd have the giant that when it leaves play. destroy
Bearer of the
everything.
Heavens.
Bearer
Bearer
of
of
the
the Heavens.
So Bear of the Heavens, and I think it says when it leaves play.
When it leaves play, yeah.
Then I would sneak attack in World Gorger Dragon.
So he would leave, everything would die, World Gorger dies, your stuff comes back.
No one else gets to have fun.
Yep.
That's what I did.
Classic.
It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of very good cards that are fond of Dread Return.
Oh yeah, Dread
Yeah.
Return, yeah.
Also, Chain Lightning's like third reprint in what, 5 years, I think?
Yeah.
It needs it.
Yeah.
It needs it. It keeps climbing.
Lotus Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
It's the wrong Lotus.
It is the wrong Lotus for sure. Definitely the wrong Lotus. Pretty art though.
Yes,
Very
very
pretty
beautiful. All the Lotus is.
I forgot they're reprinting Berry and Drake and
And
Snap.
and Terror.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Dude, okay. Hey Esper. That terror art is friggin' incredible.
It is. It is. It is really
It's so fucked. I love it.
Elvish Spirit Guide. I didn't see you hiding in there.
good. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Hello, $14 uncommon.
Yes.
From Fallen Empires or whatever. No, Alliances. Alliances.
Yeah. Like, come on. Fallen
Sorry.
Empires doesn't have good
You're right.
cards.
Sorry. It's too good for Fallen
Yeah.
Empires. That's my B.
Well, it's what? Rainbow Veil, Hymn to Turok, and Fall and the High Tide are the only 3 cards that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But yeah, this set looks really, really cool. I hope I have a chance to buy a box, but chances are I won't.
I'm probably just going to buy one on the spot because I made the same mistake with Time Spell.
Time
I was
Spell
like, I'll buy a
Remastered.
box tomorrow, and they're just gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing. Probably gonna do the same thing. I also like to bring back the split cards as well. Good, a good little
Yeah.
flash back
Yeah.
to the past there. I like that nostalgia feeling. So that's really good. But yeah, no, this is gonna be a real solid set. It's gonna be real solid. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely gonna pick it up because my commander decks need a lot of those cards.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I kind of want this thing to be labeled. I can't believe it wasn't Commander Masters. That's just how I feel about it. It's just, as much as we complain about Wizards of the Coast, sometimes they just do nice things.
Sometimes.
They do. Like, there are just some departments that knock it out of the park, and then there's just others that are just killing this game slowly.
Some departments being Wizards knocking out of the park, being Wizards of the Coast 20 years ago.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast 20 years ago.
Come back. We miss
Thanks,
you.
Richard Garfield, I guess.
Listen, Richard. Wow, boy, was he really good at designing those rules. Great rules. Love those rules. Wow, his card design is shit.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Now, we do have another video we're going to record this Saturday. We're going to be playing the Commander Starter decks, or at least 4 of them. So that's going to be fun. Who the 4th person will be, it will either be my spouse, Silver, or somebody else, depending on schedules. But
Who knows?
who knows? That you're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll be back doing that this Saturday. Then hopefully we'll be back. These 2 will be back next week. I will not be here next week because I have a fancy loyal party to go to.
He's getting sued.
He has to wear a tie.
I've been told I didn't. I told Silver I was gonna embarrass them and wear my barf costume to a very fancy Italian restaurant. So
Which fancy Italian
there's-
restaurant?
I
Say
don't
off
know.
camera.
I'll say it off camera, but
It's like there's definitely worse costumes to order a lawyer party.
I'll get a top hat and monocle too. I'll go all out.
I wasn't going to go there, but
I'll do it. Listen, they're either going to love me or hate me, and I think I'm going to get a 50-50 split if I do that.
I'm representing myself.
Representing myself, please. Hang on, I got to adjust the wig. All right. Adjusting the tail. But anyways, yeah, I think that's going to give me it for today, guys. I think we got good. So I think we covered everything. But yeah, we'll be back next. We'll be back with the Commander video, and next week with the normal rundown. So I've been Andrew,
I am happy.
I'm still Nick.
and we'll be back next week. Have a good one, guys.